All right, everyone, welcome back to the S Room Podcast. I'm your host, Skyler, and today we have Danny Vann, who is going to be talking about his goal, which is to reach teens in foster care and aging out. So, Danny, how are you?
Really good, Skyler. Nice to be on.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on. And today we're just going to be asking you a couple of questions and hear your story on, your background on foster care. And based off of what I've heard, I've listened to a podcast that you did with somebody else, and you were in a foster home. So
Yes, I was.
right. So we'll start off with the questions. And my first question to you is, what does it mean that you're a foster care survivor?
Well, as you said earlier, I was actually in a foster home. My parents got divorced when I was very young. I was about 10 or 11 years old. And we went through a process of staying with different relatives, which they call kinship care today. And I have 5 brothers and sisters, so there's 6 of us, and I'm the oldest. We went through staying with different relatives' homes, changed schools time and time again, wound up in an orphanage, and then from the orphanage we went into individual foster homes. And so from all that, spent probably about a 3 to 5 year cycle just in all of that. And then from the foster homes, my dad was able to restore the home that we were living in originally. And we got a stepmother, and she was an alcoholic, unfortunately. So getting back home and being reunited, reunification is the big goal for foster care. In this case, that reunification wasn't real pleasant. I wound up leaving and emancipating out at 17 years old, and I moved 100 miles away and stayed with a family that took me in. Graduated high school. It was Cadillac, Michigan, where that was. And so I graduated high school, went on and got a career in music and also a career in corporate America, and was fairly successful in both. And so to that end, I survived and was able to learn a lot and, made some mistakes, but I learned things. And now as I got older, I've been sharing those lessons with folks that are either in group homes or, through the foster service. I wrote a regular book, which is for sale on Amazon. And then I've also started writing ebooks with short versions and short lessons and resource links. And so that's what I've been doing. But to me, that's what a survivor means, is someone who, gets past something and is able to get through it and get over it, so.
And just a follow-up question to that. I'm sure, or yes or no to it, it was hard mentally and or both physically.
Yeah, it really was. By the time I graduated high school, I had moved 15 times. And so you can just imagine what it would be like. Some kids have to move once or twice with their family and change friends and schools and houses and stuff like that. And 15 times was a lot. It was very hard.
Right. So how do you impact the current foster youth today?
Well, what I'm trying to do today is to reach out to folks that are in the system today or have recently come out of it, and give them some examples of circumstances that I've been in, and to kind of help give them some ideas, some options that they could look into. I've also done research, and there's a lot of programs today that didn't exist when I was in foster care. And you can see I'm not a young man, so it was quite a few years ago. But now that there's all these programs, I'm trying to help people in foster care today become aware of those. Like There's a housing program. There's a free cell phone program if you're aging out of foster care. There's career path programs, all kinds of scholarships and college openings and stuff like that that are specifically put in place for foster survivors or foster youth that are either in or coming out of the system. So those are the things I'm trying to do to help us make people aware of all those.
Right. And what if they're already out of foster care, say homeless, no diploma, GED? What should they do? And
that's a good question. If you're already aged out, or if you're 17, 18, 19, some states, depending on who's watching this, you can stay in foster care all the way up to 21. You can be covered under insurances up to age 26. But there are organizations. One of them is called UCU.org, YOUSEEYOU.org. And they offer mentoring, and they offer life coaching for former fosters with no age limit. So it doesn't matter how old you are, you can reach out to them and they'll help you. They'll put you in touch with organizations. If you don't have your diploma yet, this organization, as well as others that I mentioned in my ebook, like ifoster.org, ifoster.com, they also have programs and organizations that sponsor scholarships and GEDs and things like that. But if you don't have a GED or a diploma, get one. In today's day and age, you gotta have it. You gotta have it.
right. So if they're still in high school and
Yes.
they're having a hard time with classes, where can they get help, without looking bad?
Yeah, that's a hard one because, it's real important when you people around you, the peer group, you don't want to look, bad or like you're failing or something like that, but you're struggling. And who can you go to? Well, there's a couple of options. One is to get with a high school counselor, which I don't know in the days of COVID if that, how easy that's going to be. But again, there's organizations online. One of them is called Cognitutor, COGNITUTOR. And again, these links are in my ebook, but cognitutor.com. They actually work with kids, with people at middle school, high school, and even some early college. And they specialize in helping you with wherever your problems are. When you get moved around in foster care, like when I was moved around, I totally missed all geography. Everything to do with social studies and geography. In one school, they hadn't done it yet. And the next school I went to, they were done with it. So I totally missed it. Well, how do you catch up with that when you got all these other classes and all these other problems and everything else going on? So there's tutoring places, there's mentoring places, there are counseling places where you can call. There's a couple of organizations that have online classes where you can take them offline if you want to. And in some cases you need to in order to get your GED, you have to have this stuff. So
Right.
counseling, tutoring, and stuff like that.
So I visited your website and you'll see it up on the screen here in a minute. But it mentions that there's free tutoring and life coaches. And
Yes.
How can they help someone that has no hope of getting a diploma or a job?
Well, that's a tough road to hoe when you really think you're past it and you're done and there's no way. But there's the ebook in the lower left-hand corner there. It's called Survivor Basics, Strive to Thrive. And the foster care resources up there with all the question marks and aging out resources. These are all places you can go. Don't give up. If you think you're not going to make it, don't give up, because you know, the thing about a GED and even high school diplomas these days is there is no real age limit. You can get it whenever you can get it. And if you think you're lost, there's people that care. There's a lot of us out here that really care. We just don't know how to reach you, you know. It's like anything else. You set up a sign on the highway, unless somebody drives by it, they don't see it. So there's websites. You can do searches on tutoring. You can do searches on GED, on scholarship. But you can also come here to this website, and there's stuff in here. And I also send you to other websites, which a lot of people don't do because they want to keep you to themselves. But I'm here about you. I want to help you. So check it out. Look for these resources. You know, there's a lot of different information in here. Don't give up.
Right.
That's the big message. Don't give up.
So I think you told us a lot about your ebook already.
Yeah.
But anything you haven't told us, you know, go ahead and tell us.
Yeah. There's a couple things to talk about in the ebook. One of the things that I start out in the ebook is, excuse me, it might turn it off, is you know, you're on a constant journey. You've been on a journey if you're in foster care. It hasn't been pleasant, probably, but yet you're still here. Life itself is a journey. I'm in my late 60s, okay? It's a long journey, hopefully. And wherever you are right now is just the next stop. So don't panic. So I have a section in there that says start your journey out of foster care. Start from where you are. Wherever you are, that's your starting point, and you're getting ready to take a new trip, right? And I kind of start off by helping people look at what they've been through, because the first thing you need to do is get rid of that old baggage. You don't want to carry all that anger and all that pain and you know, be spending time with all these people trying to do things, right? You don't want to take all that with you. And so I talk about how to get rid of that. Then we talk about planning your trip. If you scroll down, Skyler, you'll see the contents, the next page down, and this is what I'm talking about, questions. And here we go, right here. So I'm talking about start from where you are. You can't change the choices that other people made for you up to this point, but now you're aging out. You're going to be a legal adult, and you're going to be in control. So now it's your turn to get out there and plan the rest of your trip. Get yourself a co-pilot. Could be a mentor, could be an adult, you know, like an aunt or an uncle or a grandparent, if you have access to them. If not, then again, go to some of these websites that I have linked down at the bottom, all the way down. Get a co-pilot, and then of course you've got to put some of these things into action. You've got to figure out what to do next, and you don't always know what to do next. So as part of Plan Your Trip, I give you some links to a career assessment, a career planning guide, where it gives you some ideas. In my case, and the case of a lot of people in high school, you take this, what they used to call an aptitude test. I don't know what they call it now, if it's an assessment, skills assessment or whatever, but it gives you that understanding of what your natural abilities are. And then don't discount and don't forget, if there's something that you love to do, even if it's playing video games, you can convert that into cash. These days you can go online and be trained to learn anything. You can learn to develop video games. If you love sports, you can learn, you know, how to do things with sports, or be a broadcaster or a writer. All these things are possible, and especially more so with the internet. So I talk about taking a test, which will help you understand what you're wired for, right? Which you already have this inside of you, and everybody's got gifts. Everybody has talents. So you need to figure that out. Get a co-pilot, somebody that you could advise you, one or two people maybe that you trust that are already successful. Because the best thing you want to do is you want to find successful people, because you will turn out to be like the people you hang around with. Seriously. And so you want to find some good people. And then, of course, there's resources. And this is, if you scroll down a few pages, Skyler, you can see that list of links I was talking about. And it will give you, here's all my stuff I was talking about. But the resource links down at the end of this, chapter 2, moving forward, breaking those chains, getting free. And then there's iFoster, free counseling. Counseling is not a bad thing, people. There's good things to be said about it because it helps you get that out, and it helps other people give you another perspective that can help you do that. There's your career planning. For beginners, it's just a 5-minute test, or advanced career planning. If you scroll down a little bit more, please, you can see this is working your plan. Write it down. This gives you some details. You know, it's not just go do that. It tells you how to do some of this. Here's your getting some help, getting a co-pilot, whether it's online or somebody you get to meet in person. Get moving, take your action, make a plan, do it. Don't get discouraged. Keep trying. You know, if you're in high school right now, if you're in 9th or 10th grade, it's not too early to start planning. Get your dreams, start reaching out. In fact, there's organizations. Here you go. Here's some of the encouragement, the resources. Here's a link to articles on 16 wildly successful people that overcame different obstacles. Some of them are even former foster youth. Here's a place that gives you a free suitcase. I mean, literally free. Rob Shear, he has a radio program called Foster Care Unparalleled Journey, and he's a former foster, right? And so he's an older man now with a family. He has foster kids, and he says, no, plastic bags are no longer acceptable. Let's get these kids in a suitcase. So Foster Focus magazine is out there. And of course, being a musician, I have to stick a song in here for you. If you're really depressed, this is a good, very nice, soothing song to encourage you. And then here's a bunch of articles, different checklists. Here's an 2-year aging out checklist for things to get ready. There's an organization called PAL. And also, if you're in foster care now and you're having problems and you're having issues or things aren't going the way you would like them to, you can ask for a court-appointed special advocate. And this is a volunteer. They're not paid, and so they're not part of the system. They're literally volunteers who care about kids that want to come alongside of you and help you. Here's some more stuff. U.S. government. If you have a foster parent who wants to help you but doesn't know what to do, there's from the U.S. government. It's like 60 pages long. Has all the information about how to help youth transition. Now here's the different categories: housing, car buying, education, finances, legal fees. The American Bar Association, they'll provide you a lawyer if you have issues that you need legal. And then here's a bunch of free stuff you can get. If you haven't heard about it, there's a phone number called 211. You can dial from your cell phone. There's a website, 211.org, and they're an essential needs helpline. If you wind up homeless for some reason, call them. They are in all different counties, all across the United States, and they'll put you in touch or try to put you in touch with somebody that can help you. Then I finally put some national youth or national organizations that are in all 50 states, because some of these are, wind up being state specific. But again, resources, this isn't everything that's out there. This is just the ones that I kind of pulled together to give you some insights. There's my book that I wrote, and this is about my story on my journey, and the things that have happened to me in my life, for those that might be interested. Or I mean, it's encouraging. There were down times, there were good times, and now I'm at a point where things are finally pretty leveled off, and I'm able to reach out and help other people. So
Right.
that's the ebook.
And I mean, through looking at it, it can help foster parents and counselors as well.
Counselors, foster parents, kids. Yep, there's stuff in there for everybody. Yes, there is.
And while we're approaching the end here, I understand that you're launching a Facebook Live Q&A event soon.
Yeah, I'm looking at doing it sometime in February. I haven't scheduled a date yet because this is new stuff for me, so I'm getting some help from we have a family member of the family who's a real techno geek, and so he's going to help me through that. So I'll be hopefully putting that up sometime soon. But you can go to my Facebook page. I think I gave that Skyler. That's how we connected, wasn't it? Through Facebook and one of your broadcast lists that you put up. But I'm on YouTube. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. Haven't done the Twitter thing yet. I'm still not too sure I want to, but
Right.
And again, it's Danny Vann with 2 N's in both names, foster care survivor. That's how I'm listed on Facebook. And if you can maybe add that link to the broadcast page, that'd be awesome. But that's where you can reach me, and if you go search even just for Danny Vann foster care survivor, whether you have the link or not, you should be able to find me out there. And what I want to be able to do is directly connect with some folks that have questions or issues or concerns, and I want to be able to help. And if I can't,
Right.
then I'll help you find the people that can help you. I'm retired. I'm retired now, so I have time, and I have the desire. As I said earlier, there are people out here that want to help you. So reach out to us and let us help.
Well, we're at the end here now, and of course we'll talk a little bit after, but I do appreciate you coming on today.
Thank you. I appreciate your having me.
And of course, for all of our viewers, the links will be below. Most of them will be below that we talked about today. If you're on YouTube, remember to subscribe. If you're on the other platforms, remember to follow us. And remember that what's that?
I'm sorry. One more thing is that ebook that you had there. If you want the ebook, I would encourage you to come to dannyvann.com, and you can get a free ebook there. No strings. Just come to the website. You sign up for the newsletter. I do not use your email for anything except to contact you. So if you come, you sign up for the newsletter, I'll send you a free ebook. In fact, it's set up now to be auto responder. So as soon as you sign up for the newsletter, it sends you a free ebook. So you can get all this information at dannyvann.com. I'm sorry, Skyler, thank you very much for that.
You're fine. Well, that link is below, and this episode is sponsored by Sandy R. She's the author of the ad in the beginning of this. But thank you everyone for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.
Okay, thanks.